Week 17, call to the booth, Harrison Sanford, Aqib Talib. We want to talk about the Broncos struggling to make it to the end of the season. Also have to review what happened with Aqib in the booth in Seattle this past weekend, watching that game in the booth. But most importantly, Aqib, or first, where are you, my friend?
I'm in Tampa, Florida, man. NDU, the boys, they got nationals out in Florida this week, man. So we're going to see what it do. We out here, play today at 4:30. You know what I'm saying? Had a little walkthrough, ate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see what it do. Tampa, Florida, though.
There we go. So no meetings with Tom Brady.
Nah, no meetings with Tom. It's too much COVID going around, man. You know, I wish we didn't have COVID. I definitely thought about taking the boys over to the facility, but with the COVID and stuff, I don't even ask those kind of questions right now.
Fair enough. So on on the Saturdays and during the weekdays, Aqib watches the amateur football players and cheers them on and coaches them up. And on the weekends, he watches the pros. You were in Seattle in Seattle this past weekend. Got to see the Bears versus the Seahawks. Let's just focus on the Seahawks here real quick before we get to the Broncos and their head coaching needs. A lot of noise coming out of Seattle now. Worst season for the Seahawks since 2010. Pete Carroll does have his contract extension up through 2025, but losing that lead, the way they performed this year, what were your impressions of what you saw from the Seahawks this past weekend?
It was positive early, and then fourth quarter came and it kind of just went downhill, man. The Bears made plays. The Bears definitely made plays. Nick Foles definitely made a lot of throws in the fourth quarter. But usually the Seahawks pretty good in the red zone. The Bears was able to score points in the red zone on this past Sunday. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It didn't look like regular Russell. You know, it was cold outside. It just looked a little off. It looked like the rest of the season, man. Just looked a little off. So I got him again this week versus the Lions. So, man, I get to see it up close and personal again, but it definitely looked a little off.
For sure. A lot of decisions to be made, and has to be a disappointing season for that fan base. Speaking of disappointed fan bases, the Denver Broncos, we went into the season believing they could be around 500, maybe a little better than 500. I think the season might be classified as a disappointment now if you look at the fact that they're still in the playoff hunt, but it looks very unlikely. This past weekend, losing to the Vegas Raiders again, despite all the turmoil that they're dealing with, and the offense has not been good this season. 17 points or fewer 7 times this season, and even though the defense had 3 takeaways this past week, a lot of chatter in the Denver Broncos fan base, not just about Vic Fangio, but Pat Shurmur as well. Thoughts on both of those guys going forward?
It's gonna be hard to keep both guys, man. I kind of seen the regime in Denver how it go, man. They usually give you time. They give you a nice little window. I think that'll be 3 years for those guys, right? Not really a lot of results in 3 years, man. So usually when the head coach go, the general manager go as well, or usually it go like that, man. So I see a whole new slate of guys coming in, including the quarterback. And I think the defense, they got enough guys. If they get confident in the guys leading the show on offense, man, that defense could play some ball. So they got the guys on offense. They got the line when they healthy. And I think you got to land Russell. You got to land Deshaun, A-Rod, one of these big-time vets, man. Bring one of them big-time vets. A young, up-and-coming, you know what I'm saying, offensive-minded coach, you know what I'm saying? Get you a D coordinator. I think you bring a whole new slate of guys in.
Whole new slate of guys. I think a lot of people in the fan base were wondering if maybe Vic Fangio can stay on because it's assumed that he's in charge of that defense and the defense has played well, and that it was more on Pat Shurmur and
that might not be a bad idea. That might not be a bad idea, man. If Coach Fangio stayed on, I think it's maybe as the DC. I think the whole speech, the whole vibe of the building need to change. So therefore, maybe Fangio, he shouldn't be the head coach. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you want to stay on that DC, bring somebody else in to deliver that message to the team. But I definitely think it needs to be a fresh message with a fresh quarterback, fresh head coach.
That'd be a unique circumstance where the head coach stays on the coaching staff, but just kind of takes the demotion. I guess it would be the defensive coordinator. But again, the defense has played well. But at the same time, to your point, it doesn't look like he could be the head coach there for the Denver Broncos. Okay, we're going to go into our next segment, look around the NFL and put in our best bets, especially in that AFC West. But before we get there, let me just do the power rankings, courtesy of Aqib Talib. Number 1, Green Bay Packers, looking like they're a lock for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Kansas City Chiefs, Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Rams at 4, and where Aqib is right now, the Tampa Bay Bucks in at number 5.
Sir.
All right. That's the power rankings going into week 17. When we come back, we'll look at some best bets around the league. A bunch of you must have seen Aqib on Monday Night Football with the Sheriff, Peyton Manning, doing the Manning cast. Aqib,
yes, sir.
A joy to watch. Yeah, it was a joy to watch. What was your favorite part of the experience?
I don't know. Just Eli firing Peyton up the whole time. Eli just joke on Peyton the whole time, man. So that'd be super funny to me, man. But just, just to get a chance, get the call from Peyton. That's my favorite part of the experience. The random text at a random time of the day, bing, and it's Peyton like, hey, you coming on the show? With his little jokes in there and stuff. So the invite definitely was my favorite part.
For sure. And I didn't get the story I didn't know there was a sock story that you had his socks as well. Are there Aqib Talib socks? Can we get some?
Yeah, they got them. I think DT was in the locker room. Somebody sent them some socks, and they had like all the star players. Everybody had a pair of socks with everybody. But when we get gifts like that in the locker room, we kind of just go put it on the table in the locker room. And then, I'm saying, if you want it, you can get it. But DT was like, I got these socks, y'all. He put them on the table. And, I'm big dog in there. Give me the Peytons. You know what I'm saying? People wanted them Peytons, but I big dog them Peytons, though. You know what I'm saying? Big dog lead. Give me them Peytons.
Back with more call to the booth. Harrison Sanford, Aqib Talib. Let's look at the week 17 no-fly zone power rankings. At number 1, Dallas Cowboys. At number 2, Miami Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, and Buffalo Bills round out 3 through 5. The Denver Broncos did make an appearance this season a couple times, but didn't have enough success to stay in that ranking. Let's talk about those Kansas City Chiefs, Aqib, as we maybe do an AFC West parlay this weekend of their games. We'll start with Kansas City. They are -5 at Cincinnati with the 49 over under. What do you like?
Oh, the Chiefs is playing great football right now. Nice win streak going on. But you're going to Cincinnati, giving the Bengals 5 points. I definitely think it's a close game. The Chiefs can match up with these receivers. You know what I'm saying? They keep it close. But the Bengals explosive. They defense playing well. Ooh, let's go Bengals +5 at the house. We'll take the Bengals +5 at the house.
49.5.
49.5. 27-20. That's 47. We go under the 49.5. We got to make sure we check on this next week.
We shall. All right, Denver Broncos getting 6 at the Los Angeles Chargers, 46 over under. What do you like?
Chargers -6. Drew Lock probably gonna be the quarterback, right?
One would assume, even though the Broncos are still in playoff contention, you'd assume that Drew Lock is going to start again.
Drew Lock get the start. I'm going Chargers -6 at the house.
46 over under.
Under 46.
Yes. So I think we can agree. On that. We'll have to postpone the thoughts as it pertains to the Las Vegas Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts with some potentially positive cases, particularly for Carson Wentz coming out of the Indianapolis camp. We'll have to see how that pans out and if he actually makes it to the field. Let's see. Aqib, we want to get your best bet for the week outside of the AFC West.
Best bet, I'm riding with the Rams what they got, 3.5. Rams -3.5 at Baltimore. Rams playing good football right now. Lamar, we don't know if he's healthy, and that secondary from Baltimore is struggling right now. There's not the team you want to be struggling in the back end against. So Rams -3. That's my best bet this week.
Okay, so I think we might have a parlay because I'm going to take that one with you as well. And I would also like to take the under in the Philadelphia Eagles Washington football team right now sitting at 46. Do you like that?
Yeah.
You want to throw that on the
I like
parlay
that.
card?
I like
Okay,
that.
good.
One of those teams going to be in a teens. It's going to be a teens to 20 type of game. So I like that.
Okay, so we got Rams -3, Washington football team, and Philadelphia Eagles in at 46. And both of us like Kansas City laying the points. And we also like the Chargers getting the win at home against the Denver Broncos. A lot to look forward to in week number 17. Make sure you come back next week for our week 18 preview. And while you're watching football this Sunday, make sure you catch Aqib. He'll be covering the Lions at Seahawks game for Fox. See you next time.